Gardy with Clear Life Media, Clear Life Combat. We're at the HQ here in League City. I have some guests hanging out. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. We're going to find everything that they have going on. Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
Doing well, man.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so if somebody hasn't met y'all, let them know who y'all are, and then we can find out about stuff going on, this weekend, next weekend, the weekend after that, and everything else.
Who are you?
So my name is Rich Burmaster. I'm the janitor and director of barbecue and chicken wings at Fury FC, Submission Hunter Pro, whatever other brands we got going on these days. And I clean shit up, man. Just janitor, baby. Show up and make sure things clean.
I'm Eric Garcia, man, president Fury FC, Submission Hunter Pro.
How much cleaning has to go on? There's a lot of stuff that people see behind the scenes, right?
Man, there's a ton of stuff that goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah. Like we're lucky. We have a pretty experienced team by this point now. I mean, we've literally done hundreds of shows together.
Yeah.
But it's you live in this like constant state of chaos that you just kind of have to like eat some Tums, have a drink, and keep going.
Yeah.
It's 24/7 too. Like that people don't see the behind the scenes stuff, and we make it look easy because nobody's back there with us, but it's a 24/7 chaotic.
Yeah. People will see like you have an event here. They'll be like, oh, like right now, they'll be like, oh, you're busy. You've got 418, 427, 59, 525. But what they don't realize is that every single day, every one of those shows, you have to backdate like 8 weeks for advertising for it.
Starts overlapping.
Before that, you've got to make sure that like you've got the cards built. And then what our constant struggle is, it is constantly back and forth all day, all night. This person fell out. Who can we find? Like this person isn't making weight. Who can we find? And that now you add that into 5 straight weeks, whatever it may be. And
it's a nightmare.
It never stops.
So, it's a nightmare that we love.
Yeah. So 418, that's the next day. What's going on that day? And then I want to talk about the different brands and who are they for?
418 is 2 days from now. We got weigh-ins tomorrow, obviously. Fury Amateur Series. Some of the best amateurs around, man, fighting. We got 3 title fights on the card. Doing it at our second home, Bayou City Event Center. It's a great card. It's going to be a good card.
Yeah, and then what other brands are there under, I guess, Garcia Promotions? And then I want to know if there's room for growth. Like what else are we going to add next? What's next?
Yeah, so we've kind of gotten away from the Garcia Promotions name a little bit, and it's really Fury branded. Everything's branded Fury. We run Fury Challenger Series, which is a non-UFC Fight Pass live event. We try and look at the Fury Challenger Series as like a UFC fight night, and then our Fury FC events on Fight Pass are the pay-per-views, in relation to UFC. We have some of the smaller ranked pros, I would say, on the Challenger Series, but we do have some experienced ones that get when it's title fight time and stuff. And then we have Submission Hunter Pro, which is our grappling event, and Fury Amateur Series. So it's Fury FC, Fury Challenger Series, Fury Amateur Series, and Submission Hunter Pro.
Yeah, and Fury Challengers has really kind of grown. When we first started it, it came from we needed more shows.
Right.
Like we have such a big roster that we needed more shows. And we literally went out to Vegas and sat there and we were talking with the VP of UFC Fight Pass. And the president of Fight Pass walked by and he's like, what are you guys going on? We said, hey, we're pitching this show. We want to put it on your socials for free. They have 10 million people just on their Facebook.
And YouTube,
For free. He went, approved, walked off.
Walked off. It's that easy, man. We're sitting in the Performance Institute having lunch with the VP.
Yeah.
And the president walked by literally like, hey, what's up, guys? He's like, man, we're just trying to add more events. And he loved the idea, and we're doing our 13th one next week.
Yeah, and it started, like we said, just for young pros, but now it's evolved to where like we have a 115, amazing 115 title fight on it between 2 very experienced female fighters. And any other show, they could headline a Fury card, but this gives us an opportunity to give them to a very, very large audience for free to see some awesome fighters.
Yeah, I talked to Andrew yesterday, and I'm talking to Jessica later today,
nice.
Just through Zoom about that title fight. So it's fun. I mean, the careers of these fighters, and y'all get to talk to all of them, but it's fun. It's going to be a good matchup.
And Jessica has a super big following. If you go look at her social media and stuff, when she posted that event poster, you had all these UFC fighters start commenting on, even Claudia.
Yeah.
I guess she trains out there in Vegas and stops by a jiu-jitsu gym where Claudia and the VP of Fight Pass actually train. So A lot of people are going to tune in from all over to watch this.
Yeah. So what's next? Is there room? Is there dates available? Like, what would be the idea or potential ideas? I'm sure some are thrown
We
out there.
have some stuff in the works that we really can't say right now,
Mhm.
but we're trying to add more events. You know, we have a pretty big roster of guys now, and some of them have gotten to the point where they're trying to fight every month, and that's not ideal. You know, when we sign guys, we sign them to 4 fight 12 months, not 12 fight 12 months.
Yeah.
And a
Yeah.
lot of them are into this mindset now, like, well, shit, I'm healthy. I want to fight next month. I want to fight on the next card. So we're trying to get it to a point where we can do maybe 3 events a month, you know, which is going to put us at 25 to 36 a year,
Mhm.
just so we can keep our roster busy. So we have some cool stuff in the works.
Yeah, a lot of it too just depends on what Fight Pass wants.
Right.
Like we have some really cool stuff in the works that Eric came up with some ideas and we presented them to Fight Pass. They were like, "Oh shit, that's awesome." But it's also putting it into like, where do you put it? How do you do it? When do you
Yeah.
pull it off? So, we're constantly evolving. We're constantly looking for what's the next thing in combat sports that we can do to really kind of further cement and push the Fury brand. So
Yeah.
we're open to all kind of stuff, man.
I mean, the something cool that really just kind of happened was Submission Hunter being a qualifier
Yeah.
for the Fight Pass Invitational.
Right.
That's a huge deal.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know, but we've been involved since Fight Pass Invitational 1. So just because our relationship with the Fight Pass team and how we run our business, they came to us when they were going to do the first one, and they kind of looked at the Submission Hunter Pro outline a little bit. So for the very first show, we actually took our stage and our team and everything out there
Mhm.
for like the first 3.
First 3.
Yeah, the first 3, we used our own Submission Hunter Pro stage. We had some custom matting and stuff built with the Fight Pass brand, but our team on the back end ran the event like we run a Submission Hunter Pro. And now it's gotten to the point where they're doing them they don't use a stage anymore, so they just put the mats out. But our team has been heavily involved in the back end of it, like the operations part of it. You know, not so much the matchmaking anymore, but like the day-to-day operation stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you talked about constantly evolving or having to evolve, right? And I guess let me know about the beginning. When it started, was it MMA or was it the Submission Hunter or
When I
what led to it?
started?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it started with the amateur events. You know, they were called Cage Combat in 2010. It's like a December 2010. So this December will be 15 years actually that I've been doing it. And I didn't really plan on going this far with it. Like I didn't know what it was. At that point, I didn't really know what it was. You know, like I started off fighting, and I was fighting for Mick under his Lone Star Beatdown is what his was back then. And I remember I had my first fight on Lone Star Beatdown, and when I got back to the gym that Monday, I had some teammates that were like, "Hey man, when is that next one? And can we get on the card?" And I reached out to Mick, and he was like, "Man, brother, my cards are just kind of booked.
Yeah.
You know, there's not really a lot of room." And I was a businessman. You know, I had another business at the time, and I just figured, shit, let me look into this and see how hard it is to get a promoter's license and start my own show, you know. And it kind of started just based on me wanting to get my team on cards, you know. So the whole point was I'm going to start doing these cards, and I'm going to book my own guys, you know, my own teammates to fight. And kind of just took off from there. I did one on a Thursday night in Humble, Texas at the Humble Civic Center in 2010, and I lost money. And I said, you know what, like, I'm a businessman and I'm going to figure it out, and I'm not going to lose money no more. And took off.
Yeah. When did you get involved?
So I was actually working for Mick during the time that he was fighting for us.
Mm-hmm.
So I started working for Mick. It was like 08 or 09. Was when I started working for Mick with the Lone Star Beatdowns, and literally like my first job at Legacy / Lone Star was to tell coaches and people no, they can't have free tickets.
Yeah.
Like
Somebody
Mick,
asked it.
yeah,
And he still has that job.
I still do that. Yeah. So like Mick is such a Mick and Andrea, like I hate her, but so like they're such a like giving people,
Right.
that if you called them and you were like, hey man, money's tight, can I get like 4 tickets? Well, that turned into like coaches literally asking, can I get 12 tickets? Can I get 15 tickets?
And it still happens now.
It does. It
It still
does.
happens.
And so literally like the first thing that like they asked me, could you help with doing this? And then that turned into like at the end when LFA came around and we had that merger, I was still the media director for all of Legacy Fighting. Ran everything that you saw, like took our Facebook page from where it was from nothing to where we ended up at, all of our website, all the pictures, everything you saw from Legacy at that time came from me and our team. Then became LFA, and I was there for the first year of LFA. And then I said I was done. Like I didn't want to travel anymore. I didn't like how the LFA merger ended up with the Maynards and that group. And so I was just gonna run my gym, and I've known Eric like this whole time. My fighters have fought at his cards multiple times. He's obviously fought for us, and just through conversations, man, like coming back and forth. And one day we were just talking about like, hey, I saw this. This would actually help you guys out a little bit. And I said, if you had this position, he's like, well, I actually have somebody doing that, and they're not doing that. And so I actually came in and just was like basically like a consultant for a while.
What
Uh,
year was that? 2018, maybe?
yeah, 2018.
2018. What was very appealing about him is that, just like he said, he came in and he didn't really ask for a job or want a job, and he was pro bono, really, like.
Yeah.
And to me, I was like, like this is different. Like he's not asking for much, but he's bringing a lot of knowledge to the table, and we clicked very well.
Yeah.
The communication was there, and we were on the same page about where I wanted this thing to go. And he showed me what should have been happening that wasn't, that he could make it happen.
Yeah.
And it took off, man.
Yeah, I like that too. Like even from my perspective, working with media and stuff. Like if you want something, you can go get it.
Yeah.
There was a kid that talked to Dana White from Australia, and I don't know if y'all saw that
I
clip.
saw
He
that.
said, "Dana, I'm looking for a job. I flew out here, and on one end, I'm like, dude, he flew in and paid for it, brought his
Yeah.
mom, and did all that because he wanted
He
it."
wants to be a reporter or something, right?
Yeah. On the other end, and maybe he is because I don't know his background. I'm like, you don't need. I mean, you can jump straight to the top, but there's usually steps, and I'm sure he has a following because his question asking and presentation looks solid. So he's
Right.
putting work in. But even still, like I was like, props to you, and getting a conversation. I don't know what Dana did. Probably gave him some advice and maybe an internship.
Well, you've seen Dana do stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
he hired like the Costco lady. Who was that lady?
The security guard lady. Yeah. She still works for me.
Yeah, she still works. So like,
Yeah.
one thing about that people don't see really about Dana, but he's super open minded, man, and he's always there ready to give opportunity and help people.
Yeah.
So
I
super
talked
cool.
to Michael Aswell, and it was after his Contender Series fight,
Right.
and he said he wanted to play like blackjack at the
Yeah.
tables with him, and he was like
Save
talking to
your money.
Dana, let's do that. And he's
Yeah.
like, "Keep your money, kid."
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Save your money.
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
You want to go blow his whole Contender Series check on blackjack with Dana.
Yeah.
I've heard like when Dana's playing blackjack, every time he wins a hand, he gives everybody $1,000 behind, that's sitting there watching him. And if you don't take the money, he gets pissed because he said it's bad luck. So
Mm.
Michael Aswell was just trying to get in the
Yeah,
blackjack room with it. He didn't want to spend his own money.
He's just trying to sit in the back.
Yeah, he's trying to.
I mean,
sit in the
hey,
back.
Aswell's a good card player.
He is a good card
yeah,
player.
that dude can make some money on.
Is he okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays.
I remember asking, I was like, "Hey, if you don't mind me asking, what'd you do? Like, did you go? You're in Vegas, bro. Like, and he seems like he has a good time, and he gets to travel a lot
Yeah.
and live the life, right, of a fighter. But he was, kind of the breakdown.
He actually taught me how to play blackjack a few months ago. I was in Lake Charles, and I was just messing around on some slots and stuff, and he knew I was there, and he drove out there. He's like, "Let's go play blackjack."
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of learned and got pretty good. I got pretty good at it. So the last couple of times I've been to Vegas, I've hit the blackjack table by myself.
Yeah, y'all get to go out there. I mean, as much as you would want, really, for work and stuff.
Yeah.
We probably go out there 15 times a year, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all like it out there?
Oh yeah, I love it. If I ever moved, that's where I'd go.
Yeah.
100%.
Cool.
Yep.
Rich, you like it too?
Man, if I didn't have if I didn't have young kids here,
Mhm.
like I'd pack up the family. Let's go, man. Let's go.
Vegas is awesome.
Like it's cool. Everything is right there. And there's a reason, like you see all these managers move out there, and there's all these big gyms out there, and I mean everywhere you walk, you're running into UFC fighters.
It's the fight capital of the world,
Yeah.
just like they say. And when you're there, it's just a different feel.
Yeah.
It's I know people say like there's so much opportunity in Houston, and there is, but for the business that we're in, I feel like if we were in Vegas, it would probably double in size.
Yeah, I mean, you can get up. You can literally get up in the morning, go to the PI and work out.
Yeah.
And you're working out with, you never know who's going to be standing next. Could be Marab, could be Diego Lopez, could be Volk. You never know who's going to be there. You go in and you eat lunch. Like anything you want, they have there to eat. Like anything. You can
they
go
have a chef will cook it
yeah,
for you.
you can go from there, throw a rock, and you can hit a world champion's gym to go and train at.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why all the managers are there, and it's cool, man. Like you really, when you're there, you get less caught up in the Vegas vibe and definitely caught up in the UFC
In the
vibe.
fight world.
Yeah,
That's the only, if the UFC wasn't there, obviously I wouldn't move there.
yeah,
That's the only reason I would go.
it's too fucking hot.
Yeah, it's yeah. We went in December to film Pat Downey for Nogi Worlds.
Yeah,
And I'm glad that we did because there's some crazy content out there. And then we just went, I guess it was like 2 weeks ago for a conference. It wasn't fight related, but we talked a lot about fighting. But I enjoyed it out there.
Did you go gamble?
No, I don't
You don't gamble?
No.
man, I was out there.
Rich don't gamble.
I walked
Oh,
through.
okay.
I walked through like on December when we went. The Rockets were playing the Warriors and they hadn't beat
Okay.
them. And I had like no cash on me, and so I gave it to Kurt. And I had like $1. I think that was the only thing I had.
He won.
No, he tried. He lost his money. I was like, bro, see, that's my $1. That's all my cash. Like,
If he would have won off that $1, would you have said, "Hey man, that's my winnings"?
nah, I'd have been like, let's put it back on. Put it back on.
Man,
We won two-
I'll go bet on some fights. Like I'll do some parlays or something like that. But I don't get into the like giving my money and spinning a fucking wheel. And I'm like, damn, I could have went bought some shoes or some shit like that.
You know, you only think about that when you lose, though.
Yeah.
yeah,
When you
yeah.
lose, you're like, "Fuck,
And
I
I
want
fucking,
good.
I fucking
$1,000
lose.
back."
I lose at that shit. I'll go sit next to him and he'll be playing something. And so I'm just like, here, I put something down. And he walks away with like money. And I'm like, well, I put down 100 and I got back $13. Cool.
Like, damn, I could have bought lunch.
Yeah.
Could've bought
Yeah.
lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went out there, and David, our friend David, who y'all know, he likes sushi a lot. And he's like, it's the best sushi in the world.
Oh, dude, the food out there.
food out there is
fucking
amazing.
Yeah,
crazy.
so like we went out there one time. He's like, we got to go back tomorrow. Like,
It's just so hot, man. Like even growing up here, being here, and you always hear it's a fucking different type of heat.
But it gets cold out there too.
It does.
Yeah.
And then it feels colder than it does here.
I had this moment. So we were out there for the Craig Jones Invitational, and so we had like this. We walked like 2 blocks to go eat at this place they all wanted to go eat at, and I was fucking drenched, man. By the time I got those 2 blocks, and before I left, in my head I had this split second. I was like, man, it would be kind of cool to live out here. I'm here with all these guys.
Change your mind.
Walking 2 blocks, I was like, I need a new fucking shirt. My
Never mind.
underwear is wet. I'm like, this is terrible.
hey, can we talk about the fight card on Friday? What are some
Yeah.
matchups that are on there, and what are we supposed to be looking forward to, huh?
Man, obviously the 3 title fights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Martin Pineda is always fun, you know, and he's a super loyal guy. You know, I know he's had the opportunity to go and fight elsewhere, and he's like, man, I'm sticking with Fury.
How important is that to you? Is it?
It's very important. Yeah,
It's super important.
it's important to me, but I think it's more important to him. You know, because when guys kind of jump ship, even for 1 fight or 2 fights, Rich takes it personal.
I do.
Very personal, and it's only because we put so much time and effort into
Yeah.
this stuff, man. And if we have a plan for every guy that comes to us from their first amateur fight, and if they decide they want to turn pro, whatever, we have a plan, and that plan has worked out for for multiple guys that have stuck with us. Josh Van is one of them. You know, that kid came to us in like 2018.
Cody Steele
Cody Steele's another one.
as well.
Aswell's another one. Yeah. So I mean, we've had guys that say, "Hey, we're gonna stick with y'all and do it," and then we had guys that jump ship, and it takes them a little bit longer.
Yeah.
You know, but we want to be responsible for these guys' career. You know, and we want them to trust us with it.
And I want to make sure people understand too. Like I do take it personal when someone wants to go fight somewhere else, and the reason for that is like we have poured so much into this company to lay out the foundation of like I can tell you how many fights you need with your skill set as an amateur to be ready to go pro. Then based off that, I can say what pro fights you probably need to take to be able to get to where you want to go. If you want to go to the UFC, why would you fight anywhere else? You can fight here as an amateur. We have cards all the time. You can fight here as a young pro, as an established pro. You can win a belt. Some guys don't have to win a belt. You've got Mick Maynard coming to the majority of our Houston shows. Yeah, one of your future bosses here. The UFC is constantly tuning in, looking at our cards. One, looking for fighters, or always replaying highlights. So we have the blueprint. So if you say like, I want to go here, I want to go to the UFC, great. No one else can get you there the way that we can and prepare you for it. Because going to like Bob's Bingo Hall and doing an MMA show and then walking out at Escapade, those are two very different experiences. And we help you get prepared for that. One of the things that I noticed on like Lopez and Bulk this past weekend, they kept talking about how great Diego is doing for never having been in a 5-round fight. They don't know because they didn't research. He was in a 5-round war on UFC Fight Pass with Nate Richardson. He'd already done that. That's the reason we started taking our main events, title or not, 5-round fight.
Yeah.
Because when you go to the UFC, you're ready for it.
That is one thing that we did do. Yeah, so even if it's not a title fight, we kind of implemented that UFC style. If there's a main event or even a good co-main event, we'll let these guys fight 5 rounds.
And if you're not trying to go to the UFC, I don't care as much.
Yeah.
I really don't. You want to go fight somewhere else and do something? All right, man, whatever. But if you tell me like this is where I want to go, I want to do this, then why go pick up a belt over here for your second fight? And then what?
Yeah, like just last year alone on Dana White Contender Series, we had Luis Garule got a contract. Aswell fought. He didn't get a contract. Yadier Devaya got a contract. Jacoby Smith got a contract. Cody Steele got a contract.
Piccinini was on it.
Cameron Smotherman, he didn't get the contract, but he's in the UFC now.
Yeah.
He got that call.
Yeah, so
we were actually and that
were there.
again comes back to like having the right people in the right place at the right time. When the call came through, Erica's sitting next to Cam's manager, who they walked across. Sean Shelby meets everybody in the middle, and they sat there and talked because he was in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, he came and asked me. He was in Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, he came and asked me. He said, "Hey, man, you got a bantamweight. I just lost the guy for next weekend." And I said, "I do, Cam Smotherman." And I'm talking to his manager, and Jason House says, "Man, I don't know. Cameron's in Saudi Arabia. I don't think it wasn't even for next week. It was a Tuesday night contender series, and he needed to weigh in on Friday."
Yeah.
So Jason says, "Man, I don't think he can make weight." I said, "Let me call him, and if he says he can make weight, he'll make weight." Sure enough, I called him, and then he calls Jason. He says, "Bro, I'll make the weight." So I called Sean back over. Said, "Hey, Smotherman's in, man." Shit, they called him 30 minutes later, and he's on a plane
that
from
night,
Saudi Arabia, headed to Vegas.
He was out there cornering Rafian Stotts for his fight,
his Bellator,
and had to bail on Rafian. Made weight. Like guys don't realize that long ass travel, how it affects your body, but makes that weight. And
he cut 20, I think. He has to cut 20 pounds.
And has the performance of his life.
Yeah, he won.
And the guy that he fought, he was good.
Very good.
Which he ended up, getting cut. The guy.
Yeah.
But then I saw he's doing well outside of the UFC. It looks like that dude belongs in the UFC as well. And Cam made him.
But Smotherman's had some wars for us.
Yeah.
That have prepared him for that. And we hear that too a lot. A lot of guys will jump ship and be like, "I didn't win a fight in Fury, or I just lost. I want to go somewhere else and get an easier fight." So we have these coaches that'll reach out to us and be like, "Hey, man, my guy's just not ready to fight in Fury." And I don't know if I like that or don't. There's a fight for everybody. We try and match these guys as evenly as we can, but I guess you just can't make everybody happy.
Yeah. So Martin Pineda versus Dorian Bryant.
Yeah, that's a good fight, man. And they call Dorian Light Skin Tyson.
Yeah.
I asked him about that. Yeah.
Great name.
So that's a great name.
I think so too. He said, "I didn't like it at first, but then he's kind of embraced it now." You don't generally give yourself a nickname, but I asked him, "How'd you get that?" And he's like, "Yeah, I might as well."
Well, I'd like to see him walk out like in the little black shorts and black little boxing shoes and the torn towel.
No music, just walk out.
Just walk out or walk out to some DMX.
Yeah,
but
that'd be dope.
Martin has a really big following in Houston, so he's gonna bring a crowd.
Yeah, and he's out of the dark side, but he also cross trains at 4 ounce, which has a bunch of killers there. And I think whenever he started, it was maybe he was a heavyweight, but he was on the lighter side, then moved down again.
Yeah, one of the nicest guys too, man. Like super gracious, super nice.
Every time, and I always joke about this with my wife and my kids, but every time he does something that he thinks is not on up to par with me, he's always like, "My bad, boss."
Yeah.
My bad, boss. I'm like, "Bro, don't say that, man." like he lost his last fight, and he caught me walking outside. He's like, "My bad, boss." I was like, "Oh, you're good, bro. You'll be back, man."
Yeah.
Andrew Villarreal and Jordan Garcia is going to be a good one too, because if you look at Villarreal, he's the type of kid who he says yes to everybody. And his last fight, the dude towered over him. He went up a weight class, fought at 170, and he put a beating on this guy. I don't think he finished him, but he wasn't afraid. And they agreed to like a 170 fight, and the guy still came in over. And
Still
Andy's
came
like,
in
"Fuck
heavy,
it."
yeah.
Yeah, so him and Jordan's a scrapper too. Jordan fought a bigger guy his last fight, ended up knocking him out pretty quick. So Jordan's the champ for a reason. So
Yeah.
that's a very interesting fight. The winner of this 55 fight is probably the best 55er in the state.
I think so.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah, I know Villarreal, that's what he was saying. If I win this, or lets me know where I'm at, because Jordan Garcia has power and
It's tough.
he's fought at a higher weight and he dropped down too, which I think he's good at
He's got
155.
sneaky good grappling too.
Yep.
Yeah, he does. He knee barred somebody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I met Jordan probably maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Christian got a call, or he actually DM'd Dana White saying, "Hey, I got some Howlerhead whiskey custom sneakers."
Yep.
I got a call from Christian, bro. Can you make it out to the Galleria area
Yeah.
to film? I said, "What for?" Be giving. I'm going. This may happen. I was like, "Dude, we're there." And so Jordan was actually there, and so I
That's
met
cool,
him,
man.
and so he hadn't debuted, at this point, and
Yeah.
stuff. So I've followed him on Instagram for a bit. It's really cool to see these guys' careers, and I'm sure y'all have seen a
Oh, yeah.
ton of careers following these guys.
And that team of guys that Next Level has over there, they're just a bunch of dogs, man. You
Mhm.
know, especially like Tommy's son, Jay Aldretti.
Yeah,
That kid's gonna be a stud, man. He's probably 18 now.
Yeah. He's
Or
18.
he's gonna be 18 in November, I think. But
I love that team, man. They got
He's a
they
stud.
got some little stank attitude over there. Like
Yeah,
I
they
love
do.
it. I love
you know, I look at them like the Diaz brothers.
Yeah.
that
The whole
they've got
team.
that Stockton
Dude,
slap.
Alcantar, freaking like I love watching that team like walk out and get ready to
I
fight.
think there's a couple next level guys on
Yeah.
this card, right?
I think there's like 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 4 of them, and then we got 2 of them turning pro in May.
Yep.
Gage Harper and
Brian James. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which is 2 little studs too, man. So that's
Yeah.
a great addition for them to make their debuts. We love when these guys make their debut. It adds more to the roster for sure. You know,
Yeah.
making those beginning pro fights, super fun to
Gage
match.
comes out with those like almost in a costume with the different music.
Came
and
out
just-
wearing like a banana one time.
Yeah.
He was like in a banana costume one time when he came.
Shout out to Ryan Hollis coming out there. He's done the
Was it Gage?
sombrero.
Oh, that was Ryan Hollis.
Yeah, Ryan Hollis did the banana.
Okay.
He did the sombrero
Yeah.
and then the Indian thing. He had the Indian headdress one time.
Yeah.
I'm
Gage
just
is
like,
crazy.
Well, you know-
you?
Who else? Chewy, Jesus Lopez.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He came out with
Yeah,
his
his cock
dad
out.
singing. He came
Yeah,
out the-
yeah.
the-
He had his rooster.
Yeah, oh, rooster, whatever. Yeah. He had a chicken too. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, this ain't our podcast.
Oh, my bad.
We're
Guys,
guests.
my bad. I'll keep it
guests
PG.
today.
So on to the 135 fight
Yeah.
for the title.
Yeah, I'm a Jesus Lopez fan though.
Yeah. Jesus is
He's good.
Him and his team are real good, man.
Yeah.
Like we love those guys out there too,
Mm-hmm.
no doubt.
So what did we touch on the other title? We got Pineda.
Cordova
Garcia.
and
Cordova and
Epperson.
Okay.
Epperson's 4-0 now.
Yeah.
You know, and he put on a hell of a performance in San Antonio at the Tech Port on his last fight. TKO'd Caden, I think, in the first round.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's a step up. He was actually supposed to fight Jay Aldretti, and then there was some stuff that happened that put Jay out of the fight, but Jose Cordova stepped up.
Some Diaz stuff.
Some
That's the Diaz stuff.
Diaz details. We don't have to touch on it. We'll bring Jay and he
Jay
can
will be
share
back
his
in
side.
Yeah, he can do his own thing, man.
He'll
It's
be
good.
back in November, but
I heard it was the ops. That's the
Yeah.
story. I got the ops.
I'll be out there.
yeah, but Jose was quick to step up, and it's gonna be a good fight.
Yeah.
Man,
Jose super excited.
and I'm telling, look, I'm super biased. I've got 4 guys out of my own gym on this card, but I won't mention any of them because I'm gonna be watching a Darius Diamond and Cade Fordory.
Yeah.
Like I love watching Cade Fordory fight, and I love watching a Darius. Like 2 guys going out there and they're just gonna scrap.
Yeah.
Like I'm excited for.
Well, I
that
will
fight.
touch on one of his guys. He's got a guy named Damian Nunes that goes out there, and I saw him sparring in Rich's gym one time, and he was sparring with Mahul,
Yeah.
and it just like if you watch like Tom and Jerry, bro, and they get in these scraps, and you see that little ball, and then it just turns into shit with like the little cussing thing. That was Mahul and Damian.
Yeah, that's,
and I was
that's
just
the best
watching-
way.
They were just dropping each other back and forth. I was like, bro, when are these guys gonna fight? And then they both debuted, I think, the same night.
Yep.
And what they did in there, they did to other people in the cage.
Yeah.
It was absolutely amazing. So anytime one of those guys is on the card, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I'm a big Tom and Jerry fan. Shout out Tom and,
Oh, yeah.
Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry,
Bro.
Mahul and Damian.
Those kids crack me up, man.
Rich, where's your gym at?
So it's out in Richmond,
Mhm.
out in Richmond, Texas. We're what are we going on our 8th year out there where we're at now, and it literally started as a place like I've had a handful of fighters, Sid and Rolled, a bunch of guys that we bounced around since '09 together. Just needed a place. I didn't want to train them in my garage, So I was like, I'll just go rent a little unit, and then that turned into I've got 6 fighters fighting over the next 2 shows. My kid Devin's our 145 champ. We got pro fighters out of there now. We got guys dropping in from other gyms like all the time. So it's something different for me because out there in Rosenberg, man, like the whole reason put out there in that Richmond Rosenberg area is that these kids have this circle of life they live in, where like they go to high school, they probably get a blue collar job of some kind. Oh, chick's knocked up. They move in together, not going to college. Now I'm just working this job, and it's the same circle over and over and over. And I want to give them the opportunity to do something different, man. See, like you don't have to keep following the same path and do something different. So I've got like 50 kids between like 17 and 22 who all want to fight.
Really?
Like they're there every night.
Wow.
I've got another group of like 6 more guys ready to debut in a few weeks after this. So like,
Mhm.
I
it's
think
cool,
it's
man.
gonna take like one of his guys to actually get to the contender series or actually make it into the UFC, and then it's gonna change everybody in that gym.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be like, damn, Devin did it, Josh did it, we're doing it.
Yep.
And it's just gonna start a pattern. And we're close. We're
Yeah, we are
probably
for
like
sure.
a year or 2 away.
Yeah.
Should be fun.
Eric, you ever thought about starting a gym?
No,
No?
absolutely not. Man, this thing keeps me so busy, man. Like I said when I came in, it's 24/7. Like literally, I try and put my phone on sleep mode at like 10 p.m. and then something just draws me back
It's
into it.
not
Like
true.
if I can't sleep, I'll look at 10:45 and I've already got 18 messages from 10 to 10:45.
And randomly, I'll see like I saw like 11:45 the other night. I sent a message. I was like, all right, I'll get that in the morning.
It just
5:50. I'm like, all right, like your
it
boys
just
back
man,
up.
listen, I don't have time to do anything else really.
Yeah.
And I've got kids that I've got one in college and I got one headed to college next year and I'm gonna have one left, and I feel like I'm gonna have more time, but I don't think I'm gonna have more time. And this
Yeah.
thing just it's a well-oiled machine at this point because of the amazing people that I have around me, but for me to be able to do anything else, it's impossible.
Yeah. What's the main goal? Like,
Blow up and act like we don't know nobody.
Nah, man. I mean, just to keep getting better, it's a great feeling to be able to see guys actually get into Dana White Contender Series and then get that contract, knowing that they've been working so hard, and one that really stands out to me is Yadier Devaya.
Mhm.
I know that kid, he worked hard for so many years and, he had his own food truck and had his business and now he's got like a brick and mortar that
Yeah.
he's running his business out of. But the night that he got that contract, like I could just see it all over his face and his wife's face, like, man, my life is going to change. Um, Josh Van, he to watch him go and is he top 10 now?
Top 15.
Top 15
He
in the
will be
flyweights.
top 10.
23 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, at 23 years old, man. I mean, that makes me feel good, and the goal is to just keep doing it and put
Yeah.
more guys there. I couldn't see myself stopping because I feel like there would be a serious void here if we did stop what we were doing. So I'm gonna ride this thing till the wheels fall off.
Yeah. Just get as many, change these lives for these
That's
these
it,
fighters,
man.
up and
That's the
coming guys.
goal. Yeah.
Man, that's what we're looking to do, man. Like it's all the things that come with that are cool, but that's one of the things that drew me to working with Eric. Man, he's fighter first, and that's what made Mick so successful. Is that he cared about the fighters and their career, and everything you do from there kind of falls into place backwards from there. If I care about their career, how can I make the best event? How can I make the best fights? How can I make the best environment for them? How can I make the best ticket sales and fans? So all that starts coming back in together to progress that fighter.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and when he says it like Mick, I took a lot of how he ran his business and how he was in the media and just the way he carried himself. And I tried to implement that into what I'm doing, and I've been successful with it.
Mhm.
Like he had a really good blueprint, and the way he carries himself, and the way he talks to other people and treats other people, and the way he is on social media and stuff like that. Like everything that we say and do is a reflection of the brand.
Yep.
So you have to be very careful. It could be sensitive if you post something that other people are going to see, the higher uppers see. Like I got to think too, like when I post or talk, Fight Pass VP's watching, or maybe Dana might come across my
Yeah.
page, or Mick looks, or just whatever. So
Yeah.
it's all very thin line.
You gotta keep that in mind for
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's important. So after this week, back at it again next week,
Yeah.
and that's the Challenger Series, and that's different in the sense. Is that all pro?
No, we got some
No,
amateur
Some
fights on it.
amateurs on there too, so we'll be a mix.
Yeah, it's a mix, and how big is that card?
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
I think
how
we have
big is it?
10 AMI fights,
And 10 pro, 11, 12 pro.
12 pro.
So that's 22 fights deep.
Yeah.
Which is a long night. It could be a long night of fights, but one thing we do, our timing's really good. I think.
Yeah,
It is.
I think so.
Yeah, we run with these fights back to back. But yeah, it's a super solid card. Like I said earlier, the Challenger Series is more like a UFC fight night.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be free on Fight Pass social channels, Facebook and YouTube, and then it'll go to UFC Fight Pass. They'll upload all the individual fights to Fight Pass afterwards. Stat card though. Very
Yeah.
stat card.
I feel like, being on UFC Fight Pass is a big deal, but I almost would rather be on the social media because it's free. Anybody can see it like immediately. There's a big appeal to that as well.
For sure.
Like a fight night, I'm on, ESPN or something like that.
Versus having to pay for the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like Rich said, they have so many followers.
Yeah.
I think their Facebook page has a few
It's a
million,
10.
right?
It's a
10
10 million on Facebook alone.
10 million
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what YouTube has.
I think YouTube is like 3 mil. maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a ton
It's
of people.
crazy.
That's a lot of eyeballs.
That doesn't count because they post the same stuff to their IG during the fights as well.
Right.
Like it's a lot of eyeballs on you, man.
Yeah. And I'm always in there reading the comments and stuff like that because it's people like if it's on Fury's page, then people are watching that know Fury. But these other people, they're just like strangers that are just like, hey, I like fighting or I saw this and I liked it, and they get into it. Like to them, it is the UFC. They don't know the difference at some point.
I'll scan the comments for. I'm looking for production stuff
I don't
generally.
look at that shit.
But every now and then shit will stand out, and it's like it's always the dumbest shit.
Who matched this shitty fight?
Yeah. Where's Royce Gracie? Bitch, what the? Yeah.
Or the
Match this shitty fight. Or you get the complainers when their guy gets knocked out or something. They're like, "Oh man, that referee sucked."
That's the best. I love those.
Why did you hire this referee, Eric?
like you hired him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
The one that gets me is the fake streaming links, like buy the pay-per-view
yeah.
here, and it's like I'm watching the fight currently
yeah.
for free. Now, if I fell for this and hit the link and gave you my credit card information so I could watch the fight I'm currently watching, maybe I deserve it.
Yeah,
Something, right?
yeah. It's happened a few times where people have clicked that link and they sent us a message complaining.
I want
Yeah.
refunds.
I want a refund. I'm like,
It's like, bro,
mean,
you were
like,
watching the fight
you
a lot
saw
of time.
You saw a pop up and you went to that. Like,
While you were watching the fight,
what
what are you doing?
is wrong with you, man?
But those guys hustle hard. Those the guys.
bots.
Yeah, the bots.
Hey, whoever's
man.
putting the bot programs together,
Dude, come.
do you think?
Come work for
We need
us.
some bots of
Yeah.
Yeah, come
on
work
this
for
side,
us, man.
doing something good.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, just fake profile after fake profile popping up and stuff like that. So, yeah.
It's constant, man. It's so hard to monitor that too. We try to monitor comments whenever we can,
Yeah.
but for the most part,
To
like,
respond to
hey,
something.
listen, clearly again, if you are watching the broadcast, don't click a link to go watch the broadcast. If you see a poster that we've posted, don't click the link underneath it.
Right.
Click the one in the post that
Yeah.
we posted. And we don't have a friend account, so we're not going to friend you from Fury Fighting.
Yeah, that
So,
happens a lot too. Now.
If you, it's a business account, people. It's a business. So
Yeah.
if you get a friend request, it's not us.
I think there's like 50 different Furies now that go and friend people.
Yeah.
And I actually see my own commentary team is friends with
They're
these
friends with
guys.
them on there,
Yeah.
which makes it
And Alex and Raheem.
Yeah, well, yeah.
it legitimizes that
Yeah,
fake
that's not
account
us.
too. It's like, oh,
Now
that has to be real.
Yeah, people are gonna start.
It's mainly Raheel, fucking Raheel.
So, if someone hasn't been to a Fury event like before, maybe they're not even a fight fan. Do you think there's a place for them, or I guess how would you describe it? What's the goal for the Fury event?
Man, if you like excitement,
Yeah.
And kind of like monster trucks, and you were a kid, you'd hear the monster guy come on, you'll pay for the whole seat, but you only need the edge. It's that type of excitement, man. And then Dana broke it down so great years ago when he talked about, like, if there's two people in a field
Yep.
and they start fighting, people are going to stop and watch that shit.
Yeah.
No matter
Anywhere.
anybody's going to stop and watch a fight. And you're either on the fence of, oh, this is too violent, or you're like, oh, what's going on over here? And so you come to our event, from the moment you walk in the door, like the music's pumping, the lights are going. You walk in, there's highlights playing on the TVs. There's a merch stand. You can walk in, you get excited, you grab you a shirt, you can grab a beer, you go sit down at your table, your seat. There isn't a bad seat in any of our venues. Everywhere you stand in the venue, you can see very, very well what's going on. And then we're very, very blessed. Matchmaking outside of replacing fighters is easy for us because we have so many talented fighters. And so it's easy to make banger matches. And we say it all the time, like, this is the best card we've made, because it's like the best card that we've made. And then the results come through, man. It's just excitement. You want to be excited, go.
We thought that Fury 100 was the best card we had made. And then we just did March 23rd, and like Mick and the Fight Pass VP are like, bro, this has to. Well, the Fight Pass VP said, hey, this
Card of the year.
card of the year
Yeah.
definitely has to be card, because we had knockout after. We had 16 fights and 13 finishes.
Yeah.
13 first round finishes.
And then we opened up the televised broadcast on Fight Pass with 4 straight, 1 decision, and then another one, like right away.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Wow.
For sure.
That's awesome. So yeah, this Friday we got an amateur series 57. That's a lot of events just on amateur alone.
Yeah, well, when you see, so when we started doing the amateur series, it was cage combat. So I probably did like, I don't know, 50 of
Even
those
more?
maybe, or 40.
Yeah.
So now
That's
that
a
we're at
lot.
57 Fury
We've got
amateur series, we've
over
done over
100.
100 amateur cards.
Yeah,
For
what
sure.
what led to the name change? You know, the other thing, like, because I can see like there's some similar stuff, but then there's like Fury Grappling up there, like in Pennsylvania too, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's like the font and everything is just a little too
Yeah.
close.
Yeah, as far as cage combat going to Fury amateur series, we just wanted to brand everything the same.
Yeah.
And then I kind of took Mick's idea, because he went from Legacy FC to Legacy Amateur Series when Legacy Amateur Series was Lone Star Beatdown prior.
Yep.
And it worked for him, so
Mhm.
ended up working for us too.
Cool.
Yeah.
We also took the challengers, which we had. So we had legacy challengers.
Did y'all?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't. I don't think
Well, I didn't know that.
My bad.
Yeah,
Those
I thought that was mine.
No, it was yours, it
no.
was yours.
And matter of fact, we took that from, was it World Fight League? There was another challenger series. Maybe it was Bellator or PFL challengers. One of the two. We had taken challengers from them to do legacy challengers. We only
Yeah.
did like 3 of them.
Yeah, so we've done 13.
Done way more. Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm trying to think, is there anything else y'all want to talk about or
I
share?
mean, we run our own podcast. Rich thinks he's at his podcast right now.
I'm too sober to be at our podcast. Like,
Y'all do y'all's. I mean, y'all do a weekly.
Yeah, we do
Usually in-
we do a weekly podcast that goes to UFC Fight Pass and also Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. You know, we talk about a bunch of shit. If you've ever watched it, you
Mhm.
know, it's pretty fun. We have a
Y'all
good
bring in
time.
fighters and talk about
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
we bring in fighters, but we also spend a lot of time just like
breaking down cards
bullshitting,
and stuff. and
just guys talking and bullshitting, and everything will divert off into some random thing, and then you make your way back over to the fights again eventually. And it's just a good hang, man. It's like just 4 guys, so we like to hang out together. So it's our opportunity to hang out and drink a little bit and bullshit and talk about fights. It's awesome.
You'll catch me making fights while I'm doing the podcast.
Never fails.
Yeah,
Try and do the
that's one thing.
podcast, ask them a question, we'll just stare and wait them. Which
I was like, dude, I'm trying to respond to this.
it's just how it is, man. You got to stay on it.
Yeah, time is very important when you are making fights and talking to people, because fighters are impatient. Managers are impatient. And if you can't meet their needs real quick, they're on to the next.
And then you're playing this game of like, oh, you said yes. Now I got to wait for his team to say yes. Well, his team has to talk to his coach. His coach has to talk to the manager. The manager has to talk to your mother. Your mother needs to make sure that you're clear because you're not going on vacation that day.
I gotta
Do
talk
we
to my
have?
wife.
Now I got to talk to my wife.
Yeah.
Like, can I get off work? No, it's all these things come into play before you can even say, yeah, you guys are going to fight.
Yeah.
It's a lot of back and forth.
But if you look at the card and how it ends up playing out, it's like we put a lot of work into it.
Mhm.
And nowadays, when you come to a Fury FC card as well, like back in 26, before the Fight Pass days, it was probably 95% local fighters.
Yeah.
And now we're flying guys in from everywhere, like literally everywhere. So the majority of the card will be out of town. some out of country,
Yep.
out of country guys, and we probably have like 30% local guys on the card.
Wow.
So and it was really cool because the last event that we had 2 out of town guys fighting, and neither one of those guys sold any tickets, but the place was packed and the crowd was so engaged,
Yeah.
and you heard people cheering when they would stand up, when somebody would get dropped. So that showed me that we just have the casual fan now that shows up and loves MMA, and they're watching guys and excited for guys that they don't even know who they are yet.
Yeah, that's awesome, and that's the difference with the UFC or even like some regional promotions that we work with. What we found is like the people that are gonna watch, friends, families, teammates, selling tickets and selling pay-per-views. That's who's gonna tune in. But whenever you put on an event that's like it's an event,
Yeah.
like I said, the lights, the music, it's just entertaining. I don't know anybody, but I'm gonna have a good time. That's the difference.
Yeah. I'm waiting to get to a point where like we start getting those UFC chants in the crowd,
Mhm.
and they're doing like the ole, ole, ole. We start making the woo. And that's when I know, okay, man, we really got the crowd in.
We already get a good amounts of like grab his dick and twist it, which is always good.
Yeah, you always hear the shit that they say at UFC events.
Yeah, which is still my favorite part of like, because I'm up on this pedestal taking pictures, moving around, and I get to hear just the nonsense at a level where it's like the coach is telling them one thing and their teammate is screaming with the passion of Thor, like as big, loud as they can. Some
Over
shit
the
that's
coach.
opposite of what the coach is saying.
Yeah.
And you can see the fighter on the ground going, what the fuck is
What do I
going
do?
like, shut up.
He catches that stuff because he's been in the corner of one of his own guys, and he can hear the teammates, like his other students, coaching, and he'll look over and be like, "Hey, shut up!" And he'll tell his students like, "Shut your ass up! I'm coaching right now."
That's a pet peeve I can't stand, man.
The coach that has the loudest voice that I've ever heard in person is Drew with Tai Chi.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, bro. Like, that's who I would want yelling in my corner anything. But it's like, dude, the coach can hear. The people on the opposite end of the venue can hear.
If only he knew what he was talking
If
about.
only he knew.
I love Drew, man.
And yeah, I remember Drew's
my guy.
Only real life representations of a Sasquatch, like walking around. So like I love Drew, man. Like we were training partners together years and years ago. Back when he was winning the Lone Star Beatdown heavyweight championship.
I remember
Yeah,
that.
for those who don't know, man, Drew was a monster back in the day.
Yeah.
Savage, absolutely fun, man. And he's turned into him. Like, I love that guy. I love him. I love his
Shout out to
team.
Drew. He's one of the guys that has supported us from the beginning.
Yeah.
And here we are 15 years later, and Nico just fought. He's got a
I'm a big Nico fan. That was an awesome fight.
He's
Good
got
for
a
him.
205 amateur champ.
You were
Stephen Ewell.
Oh,
Steve.
yeah.
Stephen
Ronde?
Ewell. Yeah, he's coaching Aronde, who's going to be a star, probably be in the UFC one day.
The other thing that he does is they name, I think because his voice is so loud, so he doesn't give specific directions, but he's like, Damien, Alpha.
Yeah.
Alpha, bro.
And he's got code words.
Yeah, for like combos. Like, this is like a video game, bro.
He's calling audibles like a football team, man.
Dude, it's
Oh my.
for a while some of that comes from being at Militich, stuff like that. Like you yell out code words for different combos and stuff. And so for our team early on in the day, we thought it'd be funny to have like really dumb code words. So like if we wanted you to like get on top and stay heavy, it was like Ricky Lake or Katy Perry, like,
Rose the bar.
Yeah. Or, hey, if we want you to get on top and finish, Ron Jeremy, like finish on top. Like it was. Yeah, I loved it, man.
Yeah.
Code words.
That's the kind of shit that Rich comes up with right
now. Now I'm just watching my guys, and you can just hear me across the cage going, "What the fuck are you doing? That's not what we practice."
Yeah. Oh yeah, Damien Aronde though. Go back to him. I mean, I think when he started his pro debut didn't go like he had that dude in a heel hook. If I remember, it's the fight, and then that dude
Trevor
came
Loken.
up.
Yeah,
I think it busted his knee. He got up and got the finish. It's a different animal in MMA, right?
Yeah.
But I'm a big Damien Aronde.
He just had a hell of a performance. Probably the best performance of his career against
100%.
Michael Blockus, who's an NCAA wrestler.
Yeah, Michael Blockus
world
is
champ.
a 3-time NCAA qualifier. I don't remember exactly. I think he was a 2-time All-American. Maybe I could have those stats a little bit off. But undefeated, 3-0 coming in to fight Aronde.
Obviously, he was the favorite in that fight.
Nobody wanted to fight Blockus.
Yeah.
Like we were struggling to find people to fight him, and immediately Aronde was like, "Yeah, that's
I'll do
perfect
it."
for me."
Wow.
And he did exactly what you thought was.
That's the definition right there of styles make fights.
Yeah.
for sure.
And then that 205 AMI champion, Steven, I can't pronounce his last name.
Steven
Dude,
Ewald.
his fights, and I've got the opportunity to watch them all on stream. It's like, man, he's losing. He shouldn't be winning. And then all of a sudden,
He finishes the
something.
guy.
He's got this like
That's twice.
war of
he's done that.
attrition, but it's you just wearing yourself out hitting him, and nothing phases that kid. His pressure, like he doesn't back off you. He's just in your face the whole time. And no matter how hard you hit him, he keeps walking forward.
Yeah.
You're like, oh
And I
man,
think I saw a poster. Is it Douglas McFarlane at 195?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be
week.
interesting.
So that's actually one of the amateur fights on
Next
the
week, yeah.
Challenger Series card.
Yeah, that's an interesting fight.
It's a very
Because I'm a Steven fan. I'm a Doug McFarlane fan. And I mean,
Is Doug going to be able to put Steven away? Is what people are-
Doug's big, but
He is.
Steven's big too. Like,
Steven is big too.
yeah.
Doug's actually going up though from 85.
Right.
Steven's trying to get down to 85, so this is the middle for him.
Meet in the middle and see who's there. So
That'll be a bang, man.
So I'm
gonna be
assuming
tune in.
Steven wants to be an 85 champ as well, so he can have both belts. So basically, if he can beat Doug, we'll probably offer him an 85 title.
mm-hmm.
So that'd be Steven and the winner of Martin and
Dorian.
Dorian. Yeah,
Wow.
setting up some fights already.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, who's on the doorstep? Like, who are some guys that are maybe a fight or two performance away getting that call to the Contender Series?
A lot, man.
Yeah,
Like,
Sam Kilmer,
yeah,
Mancher
well.
Kara, Aswell going back,
Whitehead.
Bruce Whitehead. Yeah, so, I mean we've got some banger fights coming up.
I know.
Nick
We're forgetting.
Alden Correa,
We're Paris.
Paris
I know we're
Moran.
forgetting like so many guys.
Yeah.
Antonio Figueiredo,
Oh man.
Sebastian Oyavides.
Yeah.
When it comes to females, probably either one of the females fighting next week
Yeah.
for that title fight.
I haven't met Sebastian, but I did follow him on Instagram. But I've talked to people and heard people that
kid
have.
is a
That's what they say. They say he's like super smart.
Yeah.
And like his grappling and his jiu-jitsu, I've
was-
seen it.
He was on our podcast 2 weeks ago, and so was Tony Torres, who's the owner of Urban Jungle, and we talked to Sebastian about how he got started and what he was doing, and Tony told us he got Sebastian when he was 8 years old. I think he was 8, and he said, "Man, I just started seeing this kid get really good like within 2 months." So Tony says that he talked to Sebastian's mom and he said, "Hey, what are you doing with him? Like, do you love this so much that it's rubbing off on him?" She goes, "No, this is all him." And she says that Sebastian would do whatever technique in class. He would go home and he had 3 different size teddy bears and he would practice that technique 100 times on each size teddy bear.
Yeah.
You're talking about an 8-year-old kid, man.
Yeah.
And you watch him now, like the way he fights.
He just flows. bro.
He's very smart. Like we talk about, like his intelligence.
Yeah.
He takes calculated risk that makes sense. Like
Mhm.
he's a really great grappler. So he comes out his last fight, he throws that flying knee. What is the worst thing that happens? You miss the knee, you land right next to the person,
Mhm.
Grab
and then you grab him, you take him down. Like there was no risk for him for that. The knee either lands or it doesn't, and now I'm in grappling range. Such a smart decision. And when you watch him, he may be the best back taker I've seen, just purely in combat sports in I don't know 10 years. Like
Yeah.
he's absolutely amazing the way he takes people's backs.
Yeah.
We're trying to push him to Fight Pass Invitational, because I think he would be super exciting for that. And they're interested in him. So I'm hoping in June, maybe May or June, we could see him on the stage
Yeah.
in Vegas.
I've seen him I think he cornered Cameron Smotherman, or he cornered someone in the UFC,
Mhm.
and I mean that's a big deal. I mean,
Yeah.
like you can pick, your teammates, training partners,
Right.
coaches, and Cam trains. He's in Mexico or whatever, training with
Yep.
high level guys. For him to pick him, it's like, in my opinion, that says a lot about him right there.
He'll go to the UFC at the rate that he wants to go.
Right.
Like he's got Eves in this corner, and he may be the most. He's one of the best coaches I think that doesn't get enough credit here in town.
Yeah.
He doesn't have this massive team. He's got a good group of guys, but Eves has forgotten more about this sport than most people will ever know. And then he's also got Corley there at Harris, so they got this awesome group. And then you round it off with Tony, who people forget he's one of the originals here in town when it came to jiu-jitsu. Like when he came in, there really
Came
wasn't.
from with the great training with the Gracies,
Yeah.
like in California
I mean, Tony and like Eric Williams were some of the first like jiu-jitsu black
in the
belts here.
90s.
Yeah.
In the 90s, man. I actually talked to Eves on the way up here for about 30 minutes, and he's got a good group of amateurs that are coming up that we're putting on our May 25th card. So we're pretty excited about that. And then Corley's opening up. I seen him in Egypt.
Yeah, it's
doing
got a new
gym.
space. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they're about to move into a new space next month.
Hey,
Congrats to those
congratulations, man.
guys.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
for sure. For stuff like that makes me excited because I feel like they're just gonna breed more fighters,
yeah.
and then they got a place to come, and we got new talent. Off the
Sorry.
side.
And look, I mean, a lot of that comes from success.
Yep.
And like your gyms grow not just built off of like, yeah, we have a good internal programming, we have a good sales team. If your people go out and they perform well, and then you see this team unit start to come together, people want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
So they see you go win at Fury, they want to come be a part of that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's why these MMA organizations and stuff, man, are so or they're so important because that's what helps these gyms grow as well.
Mhm.
Like he's saying, you get guys that start fighting and winning, and helps everybody. It's a circle, it helps our promotion grow, it helps the gym grow. They bring more guys, we feed them, and
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
goes
One
around.
person out of Heritage, I'm excited. I saw him on a fight poster. I can't remember who he's fighting, but it's Oliver out of Heritage.
Fight
Oh yeah,
Gage
fight
Harper.
Gage Harper.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like,
Gage's pro debut.
yeah. And Oliver, I'm a big fan of his and his striking. And, it's
Yes.
just a good guy. And his career didn't start out, the way that I'm sure he imagined and,
Sure.
and stuff like that. But for him, I am excited. And
That's
I
gonna
like
be a
Gage
fun
too.
fight.
So that'll be fun.
That's gonna be a very fun fight. I think
Yeah.
it's a tougher fight than Gage may think, but I think that Gage will be well prepared. Oliver's no joke, and you can't really gauge him off of his fights that he's had with us, because he will get in there and he will throw, and I'm sure he can.
I mean, he
Get
can
somebody on
he
the
can
map.
crack with the best of them.
Oh, yeah.
For
And
sure.
I think his biggest challenge has been it's such a difference from coming from like
Muay
Muay
Thai
Thai
to MMA.
gloves to MMA,
Yep.
and like just your defense is completely different. So I think it's taken some adjustments for him coming over, but when he's on point, dude, his combinations are out of this
Oh, yeah.
world that he lands on.
He
Yeah, I
throws.
know. I filmed. I mean, some years ago, I filmed, and just like the sound, you can just hear
Oh, yeah.
that sound, and you can
When
just
he
tell like
cracks.
this dude is like throwing it. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
cracking. It's hitting.
So imagine getting hit with a 4-ounce glove with that.
Right. Yeah. No,
No
thank you.
I'm good.
No
I'm
wonder
good on this
people-
side of the mic.
No wonder people start shooting for the legs right away, man.
Oh,
I
for
get it.
sure. Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. And thank you guys for hanging out today.
Yeah, man,
Is there
for
anything else y'all want to share?
Yeah, man. Make sure you guys go to clearlifecombat.com/Fury. Get your pay-per-view ready for this week, and for next week we'll have them going as well. And just so you guys remember, listen, the pay-per-view's on sale right now.
Yep.
Tomorrow at the end of weigh-ins, that shit's going back up to normal pricing. So you got from now to the end of weigh-ins, it's going to go back to normal pricing. Save yourself some money. Make sure you guys are following clearly Clear Life Combat. Make sure you follow at Fury Fighting, at UFC Fight Pass. I don't know what the hell your IG is. You just made it public as some bullshit.
They'll find me. Just click on the
Just
top of
go
the
to
Fury
just
page.
go to the Fury page. Yeah,
We're
we're
at the top of the Fury.
we're both
FC.
right there, man. But again, while we're here, man, one, thank you guys for having us in.
Yeah, man. We
We're
appreciate it.
really excited to have you guys as part of the family now as we move forward and look putting together some awesome events. But thank you to everybody who's listening. We wouldn't be here without the fans and the fighters. And if it wasn't for the fans who come out to watch the fighters and the fighters who come out to perform, like it would not be.
Nobody's got a business.
Right.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for being a part of it, man.
Yeah. Anything, Eric?
That's it, man. Rich took all my words.
You're welcome.
This is Gardy with Clear Life Media, Clear Life Combat. Y'all be blessed.